Hello, my name is Courtney Quagliata, and today I'm going to talk about how technology can reinforce inequality throughout our future. Let me start off with asking you a question. What if the future wasn't just unfair, but unfair in ways that we couldn't even see? I want to talk about something that'll affect all of us, not just now, but especially in the future, and that's racism and how it can be carried throughout our future by artificial intelligence, or AI as most people call it. When we think about racism, we often think about the past, slavery, segregation, civil rights movements, and we might think that we've come a long way. In many ways, I guess we have, but racism doesn't just disappear. It adapts, it changes its form, and one of the newest ways that it's showing up every day is through technology, and we're using that in our lives continuously. One of my main sources that I am using in this is an NPR article called Artificial Intelligence May Be Making Racial Disparities in Healthcare Worse by Pian Huang, and it was published in 2023. The article describes how AI tools were used in healthcare to improve treatment, reduce costs, and help doctors make better decisions, but in reality, it's actually making racial inequalities worse. One big example of this is how the algorithm was used to predict the severity of kidney disease and ended up underestimating how sick Black patients truly were. This algorithm was trained on a database that was already extremely biased. It learned how to make the same biased assumptions, and the result of that was many Black patients did not get referred to specialists or approved for kidney transplants in time, and it caused very irreversible damage. This wasn't just a glitch or small error. It was a direct example of how historical inequalities can be coded into these tools that are supposed to be smart and unbiased. And once that bias is baked in it, it can affect the decisions on a massive scale, quietly and invisibly. To help broaden our imagination, I also wanted to bring in a more fictional, I would say, example from the show called Black Mirror. It's season 3, episode 1, called Nosedive, and this episode was directed by Joe Wright. In this episode, everybody's life revolves around a social ranking system. Every interaction you have, whether you ordered a coffee or ride an elevator, everything around you is rated. So your scores affect your jobs, your housing, and your ability to travel. This might sound a little exaggerated, but in real life, we already use AI tools to rate people for loans, job applications, insurance, and even predicting the likelihood of criminal behavior. These tools don't just sort information, they make decisions that do affect lives, and when they're based on bias or incomplete data, they reinforce the same kind of inequalities we've had for centuries, just in new, more high-tech ways. This connects to some of the things we discussed in class about how racism just evolves. It doesn't always look like open hate or explicit laws. As Michelle Alexander explains in the new Jim Crow, systems of racial control didn't end at that slavery or segregation. They shifted into other ways like mass incarceration, and now they're showing up throughout our technology. We also had a lecture titled Race and Technology in the 21st Century, where we learned something really important, that technology is not neutral. It reflects the values and the biases of the people who created it. And this even means that AI looks like it's running on numbers. It still can carry racial assumptions that have shaped our society for many, many generations. If we aren't careful, we won't just carry racism into the future, we will automate it into our technology. Now, let me bring this a little closer to home. In the future, I want to be a business owner and I hope to own my own Chick-fil-A one day. So that means I will probably use AI tools to help me make decisions like hiring employees or analyzing our sales or looking what customers may be wanting more and more of. If I'm not intentional, I could end up using these tools that have racial bias built into them without even realizing what I'm doing. Let's say that the AI tool is helping me screen resumes. If that tool was trained on the data from a company that mostly hires white applicants, it might learn to pull from people who have white-sounding names or certain zip codes that will be more desirable, and it could start filtering out very qualified candidates just because they don't fit this invisible bias pattern that is being pushed through technology. That's not just a bug in the system, it's real harm, and it is affecting the people in our society. As a business owner, I would be the one responsible for that. So, what are some things that we could do about it? What can we all do about it? We can be selective with the technology that we use and ask tough questions about where the data comes from or how we test these tools. We can audit our outcomes. One example, if I notice that the hiring process isn't bringing in diverse ranges of guests or customers, I can look at the tools and review the things that I'm using. And also, we can keep learning. The more we learn and the more we talk about things, the bigger impact it will have. In this closing, I do want to leave you with just one thought. Technology doesn't make things fair. People do. And the tools we build today will shape the world that we will live in tomorrow. If we want to be more and have the world be more, just being more equal and more inclusive, we have to design that. It's our purpose. As future leaders, business owners, engineers, doctors, artists, voters, we all have a role in this play. We have the power and the responsibility to make sure that the tools we use do not continue these horrible injustices of the past. Thank you so much, and I hope that what I said today really resonates with you.